That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I'm excited to support you. We are proud of you. But the story that people were talking about this particular weekend was that there was a reunion of sorts with one of your former co-hosts, Funky Dineva from TGIF. And this story got a lot of traction in the headlines because myself included, I was a fan of TGIF and, I followed the story. And when the fallout happened, a lot of us had questions. So for you guys to get together in this way and we're all talking about it, we thought that we would have Funky Dineva on with us today. So accidentally informers, please welcome Funky Dineva.
There I go.
Hey. I'm
like, here go this Fox Soul shit again. It's just not even working. It's a raggedy. No, I'm joking. Erica, thank you so much for having me. What's going on, Claudia, girl?
What's up, Funky? How you feeling from?
Listen, I just did me a little piece of edible. I'm over here eating cotton candy. I got my vodka and cranberry, just like old time's sake.
Like I'm back at work.
That part.
All right. Well, good to see you, and thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for coming to the party.
Yeah. Listen, first of all, when my text messages go to my laptop, and I don't have all the numbers saved in my laptop. So I saw this number that I ain't talked to in a very long time pop up saying, "Are you gonna be in Essence?" Then I go to my phone, I see it's you. I'm like, what? I'm like, am I being is this for real?
So when did you receive this text message?
Was it Friday? It was Friday, right?
Friday.
Was it Friday?
It was Friday.
Thursday?
It was Friday. It was the day before. It was Friday.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Friday.
I left that day.
It was Friday because you said I was packed. I said, hey, are you coming to Essence? And you said, I'm packing now. I fly out later tonight.
Yeah. And then he was like, come to my party. And I was like, okay, sure.
Okay,
and then
let me get in my national talk show host bag. I have some questions. Thank you.
Okay.
So this olive branch we all saw unfold. So you're saying on Friday is when you reached out to Claudia, and then we saw the flyer go out on Instagram. I immediately hearted it with like the flames and everything because I don't know if you know this, Funky, but I'm constantly like, hey, what happened? Can we get some mea culpa? Can we I'm curious. I'm also, perusing some information. So Funky, when did you make the decision that you were going to reach out to Claudia, and why now?
2 seconds before I texted her. And like I said at the party, when Claudia walked into the room, days leading up to Essence, old clips of TGIF were coming in my feed somehow. And believe it or not, since I departed the show, whether I curated it on purpose or not, that stuff doesn't pop up in my feed. And so like some of our best moments popped up in my feed, like Where Is the Leg? And like some of the other famous moments. And I just stopped for a moment and I was like, damn, like we used to have fun, and you spend that 30-second, 50-second moment just closing your eyes, just reveling in the fun of it all. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of softened my heart to the situation. And then knowing who Claudia is and what she does for a living and how popular she is, like it's not far-fetched that she would be at Essence. And I was like, shit, the show is over at this point. Ain't no need for nobody to be mad at no damn body because the shit's gone. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not one of those people that harboring bitterness, harboring anger makes you look old. You know what I'm saying? I think anger and I think bitterness, I think it's a waste of an emotion. So I was like, shit, I'm feeling good. The clips got me feeling soft. I reached out to Claudia and said, hey girl, are you coming to Essence? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you should stop by the party. And she was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? Like, we'll really mess up the internet if I put you on the flyer. She was like, go ahead. And
what's funny? You don't know this, but before you text me that, I had drafted a message saying we should really fuck him up and announce it. And then I deleted it. I go, no, he might think I'm being thirsty, trying to cloud phase. I was in my head, so I deleted it.
And then I sent it.
And I was like, fuck yeah, let's run it up. So,
And it worked. And what people witnessed was just, it was an organic moment. She walked through the door and I had the DJ stop, and I didn't think about anything. I just said what I was feeling in the moment and what I had been feeling for the last couple of days.
It felt like I was getting proposed to from a boyfriend I ain't talked to in a long time. I couldn't act a fool because there was too many people in the room, and I was like, but then you're like, but it's nice, but it's still nice. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, I did see some people say, oh, they planned this. I'm like, no, there was no planning of this. And it was very organic. It was very in the moment. And I think you can tell from the reaction of the people that were there and from our faces. Like we were like, oh, okay. So yeah, it was nice.
I want to like actually kind of unpack this too, because obviously, you know, I mentioned that I did a national talk show as well, because I'm familiar with ensembles. And I think for the average viewer, the average viewer doesn't necessarily understand the chemistry, the dynamics, the complexity of being a part of an ensemble cast. And sometimes there's fallout, and clearly there was fallout between the two of you. So anytime, you know, obviously most people, or a lot, I won't even say most, I won't quantify it, but a lot of people are super excited and happy about this moment. But a lot of people, because they personally relate to you as a person and a personality, have feelings about what happened and how we are today. So I know that this is all love and everything's positive. I just want to go over a couple of comments that came through to give you guys an opportunity to respond. So Claudia, I'll start with you.
Okay.
Love me some funky Dineva, but where was he wrong? Claudia should be apologizing. Didn't she betray him?
Don't answer that.
Well, in the comments I said I did.
Yeah, but I like, you know, Erica, in all, I mean, we can go through them. I just don't think getting into the weeds of it all makes any sense at this point. What happened. People are going to feel what they feel. Claudia has her vantage point of what happened. I have my vantage point of what happened. Al has his vantage point of what happened, and it ain't changing. You know what I'm saying? All we can do is bury that. You know what I'm saying? And just choose to start anew. But I don't think getting into the minutia of audience comments and what folks got to say, I don't think that's the smartest thing to do at this time, in all honesty.
And I completely respect that. I just want to be very clear too. Claudia has not seen any of these questions because honestly, the reason why I'm asking these questions is because I think if you speak to anyone who's been a part of an ensemble, especially after years of being together, people don't really understand that, like, it's not, I would always say about my co-hosts, like, I will love them forever, but there are times I just do not like them and they don't like me. And that's just what it is, because it's almost like this, it's a family dynamic. Sometimes you have your family together and you're kicking it once a year on the lakefront. Sometimes you have family members who just can never make it to the lake, going back to, you know, what we were talking about earlier. So I just find it interesting because I'm not trying to like stir things up. What I'm trying to do is resonate with the audience that just feels like maybe this is indicative of something that they've experienced in their lives. And this is something that they're working through as well. And I think that there were a lot of reasons why this became a viral moment. And one of those was the study of human behavior. How do two people who had a public falling out get to this point? And that's the only reation why
I get it
to bring that up.
I get it.
Yeah, and Erica's very thoughtful about these types of things and likes to do the deeper dive. Her podcast about the comeback and coming back from things. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
You know my thing, Claudia, it spawns 9 million other YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? And it spawns team wars. You know, like how do you answer that? Doesn't Claudia owe Funky Dineva an apology too? And then you don't say what they want you to say, and then it creates 400 think pieces. And then, you know, in moments of weakness, we start reading that stuff and start believing that stuff, and we're back where we left. And for me, I don't want to go back, but
I hear what you're saying. I think with us moving forward, I think what would be good probably for us is a conversation about anything that you had, I had, without an audience.
Most definitely.
I think because I do think that there is no way to truly move on from things. It's just so, oh, we're good, because things will just come right back, right? The first time something goes left, bitch, I knew you was like that, or I knew you. They told me you burned me again, and I do believe in having like I remember doing some reality shows with some people where I said, turn the cameras off because I want a real conversation with this person because I actually am trying to get through it. I'm not trying to have a moment. I'm not trying to have a viral moment. So I do feel like I would love to come down to Florida, or if you ever come to Dallas and have a real conversation where we work our, like no matter what happens, if we work together or not, we showed on that video that there was still some love there for each other. And I feel like it kind of healed a little part of both of our hearts that day. I don't know. I don't want to.
I agree. I mean,
it was like, okay, one less person
it doesn't like me or put negative energy. I completely feel the same way. And I just think it's just one of those things that's what's done is done, and what's gonna be is what's gonna be. For me, again, being bitter, being mad, being angry, I think it's just wasted emotion. I think enough time had gone past. And listen, outside of work, we were a good time. Like when you guys came down to Miami, we were a good time. We used to have good times. And like I said at the thing, we had lightning in a goddamn bottle. We really did. And there was no reason, well, there was a lot of reasons why TGIF didn't go to the top, but there was no reason that show couldn't have gone to the top with what we had. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be the first person to say, I definitely miss the magic that we used to make, but I don't miss the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were asking, do you regret leaving? I absolutely do not regret leaving. I will never regret choosing me over what was a toxic environment. I can miss the magic we had and still hold disdain for the bullshit that was the whole show. You know what I'm saying? So for those who are wondering, no, I don't regret leaving. Leaving was the right thing for me to do in that moment. At that point, it wasn't about the show. It wasn't about Al. It wasn't about Claudia. It was about, I didn't like coming to work being stressed out, and I didn't need the money.
I know you said that you left over the 250, and then
I was part of it as well.
Yeah. What was the bigger deal for you?
I don't know that one was a bigger deal. I think, well, I do know what the bigger deal was. The bigger deal was the everyday bullshit. The bigger deal was every day coming to work, and it was a gripe from somebody or somewhere. And it was just like, God damn it, what is it today? You know what I'm saying? And so I
have a different memory because when we left, when it ended, it was like January, right? When you left. But right before that, November, remember we went to Houston and we were all having fun together. And after Houston, I felt like we weren't beefing, none of us, right? We were kind of like clowning Joyce in her little 20-ass shoes. She had fun and we was having a good time. We went to the club in Houston, everything.
Good time.
Within a month and a half, your contract stuff came up. So it was like the timing of that. So really, we weren't beefing at the time when you left.
No, you and I weren't beefing. You and I didn't develop whatever until I departed. That's when things got cloudy for me. But there was still a bunch of chaos going on. It was just chaos that in my mind was just unnecessary. So when you're coming to work and it's just always something, I'm equipped to deal with monumental problems. I'm not equipped to deal with small gnat-like mosquito-like bullshit. And it was just always something from somewhere. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not calling on it. It was just always something. So I'm already sitting on pins and needles like, y'all know I don't like to work. Okay, I got to be here every day at 8 o'clock. And then I was misled in my original contract negotiation. And when my contract came up and they did not make right on what they misled me into signing that 6-month contract for, I was just like, there's no reason for me to stay. They're just,
which I knew nothing about.
You guys didn't know about my contract.
Yeah,
you guys knew about my contract.
We're all separate with us.
Yeah, we were all separate.
Did you know that at the time though? Because I'm just curious when you said that you were misled. Is that a situation where as time went on after the show was over, you learned new information that potentially changed your mind about how things went down or who might have been to blame?
No. There was no new information. I exited with the same level of clarity that I have today. The short of it is I was convinced to sign a 6-month contract. And I was told that what I was asking for during that contract renewal will be addressed at the end of that 6 months, because I was going to walk then. And I don't want people to think that, you know, oh, I'm being selfish, or I thought that I was bigger than the show. But the reality of the situation is I did not need Fox Soul to sit on YouTube. I had been on YouTube for, at this point, 14 years. And so I'm sitting in a space, essentially what I was helping create over at Fox Soul, I could have just continued to do for myself like I had been doing for over a decade at that point. So it no longer began to make sense. And then the $250 thing, for me, it was just a respect thing. It was like, you know, what job do you tell somebody, hey, Erica, you're part-time and we're going to pay you $10 an hour part-time. Guess what, Erica? We made you full-time, but we're going to cut you from $10 an hour to $8 an hour. That's not the way it works. You know what I'm saying? So why is it when we were 2 days a week, I was worth $10, but when we go to 5 days a week, now I'm worth $8? And then you say, oh, Q, don't worry. We got you. We're just waiting for the new ratings to come in and the new advertising dollars. And just sign a 6 month. And at the end of the 6 month, we're going to make it all right. So cool. That was the pretext by which I signed the 6-month contract. I had even forgotten that my contract was up. We went on break and legal department hit me in a frenzy. And they're like, your contract is up. Are you going to resign? So my agent and I are like, well, send us over the contract. And when they sent it over, it was the same exact contract that was extended to us at the beginning of the program. And for me, that's disrespect. All right. Listen, I know what I contributed to TGIF. I know what I brought to Fox Soul. And after the $250, we said, fine, we get it. There's no money. Can you at least put them on the health insurance? And when that man said he wouldn't even put me on the health insurance, I'm a former accountant. A company that large, it would have cost them $79 every pay period to put me on the damn health insurance. And the fact that you said no, for me, I felt very disrespected and I felt like I wasn't valued. So I said, fuck it, y'all can have it.
Can I just jump in really quickly? Because I can understand your position, especially because you're like a godfather of YouTube, like Black YouTube. So I get that, like, you're also in a position to be like, well, I'm already very successful on this platform, but I'm going to also kind of turn this question a little bit, because you seem like the beef was really with the network. And because Claudia was a part of the creative and production, were you conflating her with the network? Because we did hear you say that the problem was Claudia. I have to ask that.
Absolutely not. And in the moment, post the show, when I did my video and I said, I don't have a problem with so-and-so, my problem is with that damn Claudia Jordan, I meant it when I said it, because it was. Because of things that had transpired post me leaving, or things that had gotten back to me, and things that I had witnessed and been a part of while I was there. Again, and I'm sure Claudia can say the same about me, that, you know, she had issues or problems or opinions. There's enough blame to go around. You know what I'm saying? And it was a cornucopia of things. It was not solely Claudia. It was not solely Al. And it was not solely the contract. If I'm being honest, it was the day-to-day bickering and crap that was going on in the background. That shit was getting on my nerve. Had they given me my $250, I would have sat through it. But it was like, to sit through that, I don't feel valued and I don't need this. I'm cool. I just rather have my peace and be at home by myself. I don't need it. And that was the blessing of it all. I did not need the job.
I'm taking it back. The part where you said that you're standing on saying that was me at that time, because when you left a really beautiful message for Al and myself. And I believed it, that I love y'all. We'll work together again. And we have some text messages where I said, we can even take this off of Fox Soul and we can avoid a lot of the drama. I think a lot of that was that. So I thought you were just saying that in anger. And I actually thought you weren't going to stand on that. I feel like there was a lot of manipulation that was going on, and we don't got to get into that in front of everybody right now. that you weren't really getting the real exact story of everything. And I'll just leave it at that, because it went from love, I love you back, you know, we're going to do this again, we're going to spin the block, to me being the villain in the story, where it was that damn Claudia Jordan. I'm like, wait, what? Because I was looking at my text thread with you where it was love outside of the cameras when it was just us. So that's when I said it to her thing. I was like, I was hurt, you know, by that, because I'm like, wait, there was enough drama for us. We all have had some drama there, and we've all had our crash outs. You know, we worked together for 3 years, 5 days a week. 3 years we did?
Yeah, just about.
So, you know, there's been times where I had to bite my tongue when you were acting unprofessionally. There was times where you had to bite your tongue when I was going off on Joyce. There was times when we both bit our tongues when Al was crashing out and doing his thing. So, you know, it was a family, as Erica said, but it was a dysfunctional one.
It was a dysfunctional family. It was.
The highs were really high.
They were.
And the lows, to me, weren't worse than the highs. The highs were great because we had more good days than bad.
We did.
I heard from your mouth that you do not like to work, and you made that very clear. I need to be at the bar on Friday night. I don't want to work 5 days a week, and we made it to 4. And I will say, with all that went down, not many people can say they had a show on linear television 5 days a week for 3 years. 4 seasons, really. And what we did was a big deal.
It was.
It was. And started during COVID when everybody else was losing their jobs.
Yeah.
We created one, we have one, and it flourished and it multiplied. And like we said at your event, Africa people, European people.
We had everybody.
Till this day. And that means a lot, you know. But
and you know, we can't go without giving credit to Claudia, who was the brainchild behind bringing all of us together. You guys know how it started with us kicking it at Cynthia Bailey's wedding. The story's all over the internet. You guys can go back and rehash it. But you know, yeah, you felt something, you saw something, you brought us all together, and it was magic. And you know, it's the feeling that I miss. I miss the feel. Like I'm telling you, when I saw those clips and just me cracking a joke and like your natural expressions when I'd be going, and then Al over there laughing uncontrollable. It's like a drug. I miss that high. I do miss that high. And I just wonder if there is a world, a universe where we get the high back without the bullshit.
That would be amazing. But I don't want you to leave this with feeling like it was some kind of, you know, set up like that. I don't feel that. You don't even. I'm in my head like, oh shit.
No.
I don't feel that way at all. And if it would have been, I would have windmilled the hell out of both of y'all.
I know. I was like, okay, but look, I do want to say, as the voice of the audience and as an outsider,
of course,
both of y'all sat down and did very extensive interviews with Carlos King. And I learned so much about both of you. And I thought that it was an amazing opportunity to get something that we wouldn't have necessarily have gotten. And I want to tell anybody who hasn't seen that there's an understanding there. It's not that I know people are accusing me of being the mess. And I'm like,
let it be you for one time.
I know, like, I'm kind of excited to be the mess. I never get to be the mess.
Erica, you better know how to fight, because it's a hard position to be in.
I'm like, that's okay. I'll be in the water. No, but I really want people to understand that, like, you know, obviously things happen. I really want people to understand like the dynamics and complexity of the both of you. I can't speak to what happened. I just think that was a really great opportunity to understand something that we wouldn't have gotten. And I wanted to throw that out there.
Indeed. Carlos is good at what he does. And listen, you know, again, if you put everybody from TGIF in a separate room and let them do a confessional, everybody has their perspective and their vantage point of who was right and who was wrong, and everybody stands on how they feel. We all went through the same thing from different vantage points. And who's right and who's wrong? The answer is none of us are right and none of us are wrong. We're just human beings. We had an experience with a network and a show, and the experience was what it was. I think at this moment it's just about what we can take from it, what we can learn from it, how we can grow from it, and hopefully how we can monetize the shit.
I want to read a couple comments. Well, just one right here. TTLL Shady says, I'm not crazy about either of them individually, but I love TGIF with them.
Okay. Oh, hey, well, listen, we'll take it where we can get it.
Oh my God. I want to say this. Hey, so seeing how, your text me started from you kind of going down memory lane with nostalgia. Let's talk before we let you go. Favorite moments. I have one that was really funny that I just saw on someone made a short. Do you remember the time where we were gonna go? Was it the Bahamas or something? And Al tried to like big time us and say that the private jet that there was too much of a tailwind. And he was like, "You told me that you couldn't get your passport on time." And me and you were like kiki, and he was like turning bright red.
I don't remember that moment.
I'm gonna send it to you. It's so funny because like we would gang up on each other before it got kind of when it was not nasty.
Right.
There would be a playful gang up, and that's where the magic was. Like some days it'd be me and you with the shits. Talk like clowning Al for his bullshit. Some days it'd be you and him against me and saying your shit against me. And sometimes we would get on your ass, brought your little nasty stories down to the bar. And that's when it was like, to me, that was like the prime of Foxhole. And I will say, I keep bringing this up because I don't want you to leave thinking like the end was really bad, because before it ended, we actually were in a good place. I remember Al was texting me around New Year's Eve, and that for us to be texting, that means we were cool. We had just come back from Houston. We had a great time in Houston. Me, you, and him were good. And then it went left, and then it got ugly with other people throwing stuff. But I remember even in Houston, we had a great time. Do you have the leg thing and the Christ, the Savior?
Christ the Savior was born. When Queen Elizabeth's husband died.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
That really was.
Wendy Williams on the lymphedema machine. That was a good one. We had a lot of good moments.
We had a lot of really funny ones. I love that the internet like puts together kind of like shorts and all that. But I know this ran a little bit longer. I know you probably got plans tonight. Now I've seen you in your situation. Now you look very happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know it's hard to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a long time, and a lot of people don't do that. So I want to give you your props for doing that. I do appreciate it. No matter where this goes, I will always be happy that you did that, because it's very easy to be in your box with your fans and your bubble and your people that fuck her. You don't need to call, fuck, you know what I mean? And me too. So for you to do that, I really appreciate that. And that's really why I was emotional at your event, because usually I don't get that. Usually people just write me off and like, well, I don't give a fuck about her, whatever. And I love that you even just reached out.
And thank you for being receptive.
Yeah, I will always be receptive. And there's only one person in the world, you know who the girl is. It's a girl, not who y'all think, that I will never sit down with, but everybody, and not from Housewives. That pretty much I do like to talk things out with people. We have more days behind us than ahead of us.
Listen, nobody stole from nobody and nobody slept with nobody, man. So it really ain't no reason why none of this shit can't be solved.
Your man was looking at me though at your party.
Oh, girl, please. Yours can't do what mine do, honey. Go on somewhere, honey.
And you can't give him what I can give him. Anyways, thank you, Funky. Where can we find you? You're all over the place.
Y'all know all social media, Funky Dineva.
And
thank you so much for being here. Work. This is the first time we're actually really meeting.
It really is. We've communicated on social media over the years. As a matter of fact, you went live. Daily Blast Live went live the same day Sister Circle went live.
Yes.
You guys did. So
we were owned by the same.
Yep.
Yep. We are owned by the same group. A lot of people don't know that.
Money. We were mad with y'all because they gave y'all all the budget money and wouldn't give us none.
Oh, Erica is rich. You didn't know that? Erica is rich.
No, y'all over here talking about numbers I still haven't seen, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I was like, how much were y'all making? I need somebody to talk to on my behalf, because I never saw that number, not independently.
Oh God!
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
I'll be in touch. I'm in Atlanta a lot, so I'll hit you up.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Bye. Thank
you. Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.